أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرج. मजलिस का आगाज़ तिलावत कलाम पाक से मुल्तमिस हूँ जनाब हाजी वसीम है से कि वो तशरीफ़ लाएँ और तिलावत कलाम पाक में से अल्लाहुम्मा सल्ली अला मुहम्मद व आले मुहम्मद.
जी शुक्रिया. जो वर्सेस मैं आज रिसाइट करूँगा, तिलावत करूँगा इंशाअल्लाह वो सूरह अल-हुजरात से मुताल्लिक़ है. So these verses are from the chapter Surah Al-Hujurat. चूँकि अभी टाइम है तो it's okay if I recite few verses, right? जल्दी तो नहीं है ना कोई. Well, yeah, ठीक है. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا لا تقدموا بين يدي الله ورسوله. يا أيها الذين آمنوا لا تقدموا بين يدي الله لا تقدموا بين يدي الله ورسوله واتقوا الله إن الله سميع عليم. So I'll do the translation with it. O you who believe, do not step forward before Allah and His Rasul, and be careful of Allah. Sure, Allah is all hearing and all knowing. يا أيها الذين آمنوا لا ترفعوا أصواتكم فوق صوت لا ترفعوا أصواتكم فوق صوت النبي ولا تجهروا له بالقول كجهر بعضكم لبعض أن تحبط أعمالكم وأنتم لا تشعرون. It's a very important verse. It says, O you who believe, do not raise your voices over the voice of Prophet, and do not speak loud, kajahra, as you speak to each other, and your deeds will become null, void, and you wouldn't even know. This is the worst form of azab, when somebody gets an azab and they don't even know. إن الذين يغضون أصواتهم عند رسول الله أولئك الذين امتحن الله قلوبهم للتقوى لهم مغفرة وأجر عظيم. Surely those who lower their voices before Allah's Prophet, Rasul, are those whose heart Allah has proved for guarding. They shall have forgiveness and a great reward. Now I will jump to this important verse. Every verse is important, but this one is relevant today. يا أيها الذين آمنوا إن جاءكم فاسق بنبأ فتبينوا أن تصيبوا قوما بجهالة فتصبحوا على ما فعلتم نادمين. Why is this verse important? If a fasiq, O you who believe, those people who have believed, if a fasiq comes to you with a news, amba, look carefully or verify it, fatabayyanu, clarify it, unless you harm people in ignorance, and then you will be sorry what you have done. So I just want to spend a couple of seconds on this. First of all, who is fasiq today? So when we hear these news from these media channels, which are Western, you think about, are they fasiq media? Should we believe immediately and then forward it in WhatsApp? That's one. When there is a fasiq in some community and they report, spread a rumor, should we forward it immediately without verifying? So we have to be super careful. This one is also very important. I mean, every verse is important. إنما المؤمنون إخوة فأصلحوا بين أخويكم واتقوا الله لعلكم ترحمون. Anyways, this verse starts with this word innama, which is also the word that starts when we recite ayat tathir, innama yuridullah. There is a difference between inna and innama. Aga talked about it yesterday. Inna means for sure, indeed. Innama is more restricted. It's even more higher degree of intensity. It not only means indeed for sure, but it's also exclusive. So when it's said innama, it means it's limited to only indeed this, or a subset, or a exclusive. So indeed only two. When ayat athir starts, it doesn't start with the word inna, it starts with the word innama. That means what is going to be said, which is about taharat, purity, purification, is only limited to the subject of that verse. It's not for everyone. That's why it starts with innama. Similarly, in this verse, it starts with innama. And why it is innama? Because only believers can be brothers to each other. We cannot make, if someone is not a believer, our brother, sister. So the brotherhood is limited only indeed to the believers. Therefore, make peace between your brothers and be careful that mercy be had on you. I just want to say one more thing on Surah Al-Hujurat, that this verse, this chapter is on Hujra, the plural of Hujra, the chambers or the rooms, which is an important thing because this verse, this chapter deals with the society, the entire society, the community, the house. It goes house, neighborhood, society, community, cities, countries, continents, and then across continents, because it also talks about colors, ethnicities, and things like that. And this whole chapter is on ethics. This whole chapter is dedicated to ikhlaq and ethics. Assalamu alaikum.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ajal. ملتمس ہوں جناب علی عباس نقوی اور جعفر نقوی صاحب سے کہ وہ مرثیہ خوانی کے لیے تشریف لائیں. اللہم صلی علی محمد.
نعرہ صلوات.
اللہم صلی علی محمد و آل محمد.
اچھا چار مصرے اس کے بعد انشاءاللہ. بیاں کرے کوئی کیسے مقام زہرا کا. بیاں کرے کوئی کیسے مقام زہرا کا. اور قصیدہ پڑھتے ہیں بارہ امام زہرا کا. قصیدہ پڑھتے ہیں بارہ امام زہرا. تیسرا چوتھا مصرع پیش ہے. ارے مجھے ثواب تلاوت کا ملتا جاتا ہے. مجھے ثواب تلاوت کا ملتا جاتا میں نام لیتا ہوں جو صبح ہو شام زہرا کا بیان کرے کوئی کیسے. شکریہ. سلام کے چند اشعار. یہ محمد کاظم سرسوی صاحب کا یہ کلام ہے. چند اشعار سماعت فرمائیں. اور سمجھے گا کوئی کیا تیری توقیر فاطمہ. سمجھے گا کوئی کیا تیری توقیر فاطمہ. مصرع پیش ہے. ارے اتری ہے گھر میں آیا تطہیر فاطمہ. ارے اتری ہے گھر میں آیا تطہیر. اور ایک اور مطلب پیش فاطمہ. ارے کانپے ہے جس کے سامنے یہ تیر فاطمہ. کانپے ہے جس کے سامنے یہ تیر فاطمہ. ارے 6 ماہ کا ہے وہ تیرا بے شیر فاطمہ. سمجھے گا کوئی کیا تیری توقیر فاطمہ. ارے تعظیم کو اٹھے نہ بھلا کس طرح حسین. تعظیم کو اٹھے نہ بھلا کس طرح حسین. ارے زینب ہے ہو بہو تیری تصویر فاطمہ. ارے زینب ہے ہو بہو تیری تصویر فاطمہ. سمجھے گا کوئی کیا تیری توقیر فاطمہ. اور شعر پہ ارے جس کو امین ہاتھوں نے سونپا تھا آپ کو. جس کو امین ہاتھوں نے سونپا تھا آپ کو. ارے جھٹلا ظالموں نے وہ تحریر فاطمہ. سمجھے گا کوئی کیا تیری توقیر فاطمہ. ارے ظلمت کے سب چراغ بجھاتی چلی گئی. ظلمت کے سب چراغ بجھاتی چلے گئے. ارے زینب کی تھی جو شام میں تقریر فاطمہ. ارے زینب کی تھی جو شام میں تقریر. آخری دو شعر پیش ہیں. فاطمہ. ارے فرش عزا کی خاک کو آنکھوں پا مل لیا. شعر پیش ہے. فرش عزا کی خاک کو آنکھوں پا مل لیا. ارے پھر سے پلٹ کے آ گئی تنویر فاطمہ. سمجھے گا کوئی کیا تیری تو. آخری شعر پیش ہے. فاطمہ. ارے مقصد بچانے بھائی کا عباس بن گئے. شعر پیش ہے. مقصد بچانے بھائی کا عباس بن گئے. ارے کربو بلا میں زینب دل گیر فاطمہ. ارے کربو بلا میں زینب دل گیر. اور مقطع پیش ہے. ارے کاظم کو بھی لحد کا مجاور بنائیے. کاظم کو بھی لحد کا مجاور بنائیے. ارے تقسیم جب ہو آپ کی جاگیر فاطمہ. سمجھے گا کوئی کیا تیرے. شکریہ.
سورہ فاتحہ.
بابا کو روتے روتے جو زہرا گزر گئی. غل پڑ گیا کہ بنتے نبی کوچ کر گئی. اور فاقوں کے رنج سہ کے حضور پدر گئی. محبوب کبریا کی عزادار مر گئی. ارے 18ویں برس نے یہ آفت دکھائی ہے. آل نبی کو چرخ نے لوٹا دہائی چرخ نے لوٹا دہائی ہے. ارے سبتین گھر میں آئے جو بے تاب و بے قرار, اسماء سے پوچھنے لگے اماں کا حال زار. وہ بولی نیند آ گئی ہے شکر کردگار. ارے کھانا تو جلد کھا لو کہ بھوکے ہو میں نثار. ارے بولے کہ چین دے گا زمانہ تو کھائیں گے. ارے اماں ہمیں کھلائیں گے کھانا تو کھائیں گے. اماں ہمیں کھلائیں گے کھانا تو کھائیں گے. ارے یہ سن کے بے قرار ہوئی وہ جگر فگار, چادر زمیں پہ پھینک کے چلائی بار بار بچے ہیں ان کو صبر دے اے میرے کردگار. ارے اب وہ کھلانے والے کہاں تو میں نثار. ارے پیاروں تمہارے پالنے والے گزر گئے, کھاؤ گے کس کے ہاتھ سے اماں تو مر گئے. کھاؤ گے کس کے ہاتھ سے اماں تو مر گئی. ارے پھر تو علی کے گھر میں قیامت بپا ہوئی, تازہ بلا میں آلے نبی مبتلا ہوئی. ماتم پا ماتم اور عذاب پر عذاب ہوئے. ارے غلطا رسول پاک پا زہرا فدا ہوئے. ارے سب رو رہے تھے بنتے رسول قدیر کو. ارے بچوں کو ہوش تھا نا جناب امیر کو. بچوں کو ہوش تھا نا جناب امیر کو. ارے شیر خدا تھے مضطرب مغموم ایک طرف, سر پیٹتی تھی زینب کلثوم ایک طرف, پکڑے تھے دل کو سید مسموم ایک طرف. ارے بسمل تھے خاک پر شہ مظلوم ایک طرف. بسمل تھے خاک پر شہ مظلوم ایک طرف. ارے حیدر قریب آئے تو ایک خط نظر پڑا, تڑپے کچھ اس طرح کے امامہ اتر پڑا. تڑپے کچھ اس طرح کے امامہ اتر پڑا. ارے حسب وصیت آپ نے غسل و کفن دیا, ناگاہ بارگاہ میں یہ شور و غل ہوا رخصت کرو کہ جاتی ہے احمد کی دل ربا سبتین نے لپٹ کے کہا وا مصیبت سبتین نے لپٹ کے کہا وا مصیبت ارے کس بات پر غریبوں سے منہ موڑ کے چلی کیوں اماں جان کس پا ہمیں چھوڑ کر چلی بابا کو روتے روتے جو
اللہم صلی علی محمد وآل محمد. ممنون اکرام، ہمارے آج کے پروگرام کے اسپانسر جو ہیں ان کے خاندان کے مرحومین کے لیے سورہ فاتحہ کی درخواست ہے. سید عنبر عباس، سید ظہیر عباس، سید اعجاز عباس اینڈ سید طاہر رضا، ان تمام مرحومین کے لیے سورۃ المبارکۃ الفاتحہ. باردی کا نعرہ صلوات. اللہم صلی اللہ. کرام سینٹر کے پروگرامز کے سلسلے میں جیسا کہ میں نے کل عرض کیا تھا، انشاءاللہ 21 دسمبر بروز ہفتہ شام کو ہمارے اس مرکز میں دسترخوان امام حسن مجتبیٰ علیہ الصلوۃ والسلام اور کا اہتمام ہے، اور اس کے بعد اسی روز جو ہے جناب شہزادی کونین سیدہ فاطمہ زہرا سلام اللہ علیہا ان کی ولادت باسعادت کے سلسلے میں میلاد کا انعقاد ہے. تو آپ مومنین و مومنات سے شرکت کی استدعا کی جاتی ہے. جو مومن و مومنات یا جو فیملی کوئی بھی اپنی طرف سے جو ہے دسترخوان امام حسن مجتبیٰ میں شرکت کرنا چاہتے ہوں، اس کے لیے برادر اون نقوی سے رابطہ فرمائیں. برادر اون نقوی اس پروگرام کو جو ہے وہ اکاموڈیٹ کریں گے انشاءاللہ. اور ابو طالب اون نقوی میرے سے معذرت، اون ابو طالب یعنی اون بھائی، جو اون بھائی سے مشہور ہیں، تو ان کو دوسرے اون نقوی بھی ہیں نا، تو تھینک یو فار دا کریکشن. میں درخواست کرتا ہوں تحاظ نینس کی وہ آئیں اور اعلانات جو کرنا چاہتے ہیں اس کے لیے تشریف لائیں. ہاں پلیز ذرا زحمت کر کے آگے آ جائیں. تھینک یو.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Just a quick announcement. After the Majalis today, there will be a question and answer session. So anyone who wants to stay is welcome to. I will now request the... Yes, so with Sayyid Jawad Wahidi being here, we will also have Sayyid Ali Tawfiq. He will be here later on around 11 p.m. to around 12 a.m. And he will be here also for the question and answer session. So anyone who likes to stay is more than welcome to. Salawat.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين بعدد ما أحاط به علمه وصلى الله على سيدنا ونبينا وحبيب قلوبنا وطبيب نفوسنا وشفيع ذنوبنا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد صلوات الله وسلامه عليه وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المنتجبين سيما بقية الله في العالمين روحي وأرواح العالمين لتراب مقدمه الفداه رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. We send our condolences to the Imam of our time on the martyrdom of Sayyidatuna, our beloved mother Zahra, salamullahi alayha, and we sincerely, from the bottom of our hearts, we ask Allah Azza wa Jal to grant us understanding, wisdom, and the backbone to follow the footsteps of this noble lady, inshaAllah. So as I promised last night, tonight inshaAllah we'll delve into the topic of what is it that awliyaullah and friends of Allah usually are abandoned by the people. And the first thing that comes to our mind is that perhaps we're going to talk about mushrikeen, or perhaps we're going to talk about the disbelievers, because those are the people that they're going to abandon awliyaullah, the prophets, when they're sent down. Perhaps we're going to talk about the enemy of God, because those are the people that usually abandoned friends and awliyaullah and the prophets and the imams. But it's actually the opposite to that. When we talk about abandonment of awliyaullah, and by the way, awliyaullah means friends of Allah, the best of them obviously are the prophets, the Ahlul Bayt, and also other friends of Allah Azza wa Jal. Usually those people are abandoned, left alone in the communities, in the societies, throughout history. When we talk about when we talk about this issue, we should also remember that it's actually the opposite to what we usually think. Historically speaking, prophets were abandoned by the people of so-called faith. Prophets are abandoned by those people that they have received revelation. We're going to study the story of Musa alayhi salam in a bit. And this is not only exclusively for Musa alayhi salam. This is true for everybody, including our own prophet. You know, that personally, when we reach commemorations such as the Fatimyah, I usually remember this question because it's very relevant, this question to ask. That what had happened after a few days of the demise of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the ummah could do such a thing. And of course there are few numbers of people that they did such heinous acts against the best of people in their time, against the daughter of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Few people they did this. But what happened to those people that they knew the position and status of Zahra salamun alayha? Why they didn't support Zahra salamun alayha? It's a very good question to ask. And tonight we're going to talk a little bit about this, bring verses of the Quran, and at the end, example from Ashura and Karbala. But as I said last night, this topic, honestly, it's not a topic that I, number one, could cover this My limitation is so much that I cannot and I'm not able to cover this question. Number two, one session definitely is not enough. As a result, the purpose is to open the discussion for all of us to inshallah reflect upon this so we can protect and save ourselves from such calamities that other previous nation they have faced. Recite aloud salawat, please. So we're going to do this a little bit different. I want to ask one of our youth to have a mic. You can sit in your spot and we're going to read Quran, Surah Yasin. If you have your software, your app on your cell phone, this is the only time that you can use your cell phone while lecture. So feel free to use your phone, Surah Yunus, Surah number 10, ayah number 92. We're going to read, good numbers of the verses of the Quran tonight. And I wanted to pick, few verses because that's actually relevant to our topic. But since it was spread out throughout this part of Surah Yunus, I just decided to read from one portion all the way to the end of Surah, inshallah. So any brave, courageous youth, you can raise your hand, or I can call you. Yunus, Surah Yunus, ayah number 92. You're just going to read the translation. If you get a mic, anybody who want to recite. Surah number 10. I'm going to read like 2 ayah and then I will ask the brother to read the translation. Here's the background of this story because it's toward the end of the story. The story is about the Musa alayhi salam and his nation. To have a context, right? Before we jump into this ayah. What happened to Musa and his nation? Musa was sent down to save his nation. He went to Fir'aun, as was the command of Allah Azza wa Jal, to invite Fir'aun. There's nobody who is more arrogant than Fir'aun. Imagine. Like a slave who was raised in the house, all of a sudden he goes to the most powerful individual, the most arrogant person in his community, in his society, to say that you're wrong. The fact that you're calling yourself, you're the exalted Lord, this is a lie. You're just a servant of God, right? Allah is your Lord. That's his message. So he goes to Musa alayhi salam. Obviously Musa doesn't accept. Musa brings his magicians and all those stories that we all know. In this surah, prior to this verse that we're going to recite, Allah Azza wa Jal is saying that after the show that Fir'aun placed, that he put his magician, and then obviously Musa alayhi salam overcame those magicians, the people of Fir'aun did not believe in Musa. However, people from the nation of Musa, meaning Israelite, they believed in Musa alayhi salatu wasalam. What happened? Allah Azza wa Jal granted them safety. And this is beyond our imagination. Just think about this. Take this incident outside the Quran and see this as something that truly happened, which is truly happened. So there's a group of people, they have nothing, they're slaves, and they believe in something that completely against the narrative of the most powerful people in the society. And then the Fir'aun attempts and intends to kill and massacre this nation, but they don't listen. They say, no, we're going to follow our own madhab, we're going to follow our own religion, right? Because we have Allah. And remember, these guys, they're not even believer. This is a new thing for them. Islam and the religion of Musa alayhi salam is a new thing to them. So it's a big thing, big step that they took, subhanallah. That's why Quran talks highly about Israelites at this point of their life. That, subhanAllah, you did such a big step. You took such a big step. So they accepted. So Quran talks, the same surah, Quran talks about the story that they ran away. Allah told them that just ran away, right? Abandon the city, get out of the city. So they went to the river or sea of Nile, right? They passed behind them. Who are they? The soldiers of Fir'aun. The water, the sea is split by his staff. So the people of Musa and Musa alayhi salam is passing by this. Behind them, soldiers are following. It's a beautiful scene, intense scene. So they had this fear. As soon as they stepped out of the water is back together. And water swallowed the people of Fir'aun and they were drowned. This is a big miracle. And then after that, Allah Azza wa Jal took away the wealth of Fir'aun and his nation and blessed the people of Israelites. Multiple instances and cases and examples, Allah over and over again blessed this nation. And then comes to these verses of the Quran. You see, this is, till now, they're behaving. They're behaving. Muslims, they did too. Muslims, they were with the Prophet ﷺ. They aided the Prophet ﷺ. They went to battlefield with the order and command of Rasulullah ﷺ. They were on the path, but they slipped. So you see, this is where the problem arises. That the awliyaullah are abandoned by the people that they know. The awliyaullah and friends of Allah are abandoned by the people that they have the book, they have the revelation. The news, as Quran tells them, the news has come to them. It's not like they don't have the news. It's not like they don't have the revelation. They have the revelation. But there is problem here. We're going to talk about that. So before we get to that, let's read, right? So ayah number 92 and till the end. I'm going to read 2 verses and then my brother will read the English translation. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم ولقد بوأنا بني إسرائيل مبوأ صدق ورزقناهم من الطيبات فما اختلفوا حتى جاءهم العلم إن ربك يقضي بينهم يوم القيامة فيما كانوا فيه يختلفون فإن كنت في شك مما أنزلنا إليك فاسأل الذين يقرؤون الكتاب من قبلك لقد جاءك الحق من ربك فلا تكونن من الممترين. بسم الله.
And certainly we lodged the children of Israel in a goodly abode, and we provided them with good things, but they did not disagree until the knowledge had come to them. Surely your Lord would judge between them on the resurrection day concerning that in which they disagreed. But if you are in doubt as to what we have revealed to you, ask those who read the book before you. Certainly the truth has come to you from your Lord, therefore you should not be of the disputers.
So they have the news, the haqq has reached them, but after all those miracles, after all those signs, they have started to for disunity, right? And disunity here means that they had ikhtilaf, they went against the commands of Allah Azza wa Jal. And then Allah acknowledges, Allah says, look, I understand, you're a human being, you can have doubts, right? You can have doubts. But here's the answer, Quran says, يَقْرَؤُونَ الْكِتَابَ مِنْ قَبْلِكَ. So read the book, the previous book. Go study. Go study what other prophets they have told their nation. Go do research. لَقَدْ جَاءَكَ مِنَ الْحَقِّ فَلَا تَكُونَنَّ مِنَ الْمُمْتَرِينَ. But when the haqq has come to you, do not be amongst those people they have doubt. It's okay to have doubt, but do research. But once haqq and truth reach you, that's where you cannot, and you're not supposed to have doubt. Because after that, there's what? There's desire. That's not really a doubt. That's not really an intellectual challenge that you have. It's about doubt, because sometimes religion is favoring us, right? Allah gives you house, Allah gives me car, Allah gives you children, Allah gives me spouse, all good news. But there are times that in order for me to follow my religion, I'm going to fall into intense challenges. That's where my faith is tested. That's where it doesn't matter how much I know Quran. Truly, it doesn't matter. The only thing that it matters is that how much I want to follow the Quran. How much I'm sincere in the Quran, right? Quran is very clear here. I can have the truth with me, but still be amongst those people they have doubt. Remember, this doubt is not intellectual doubt. This doubt is more of practical doubt. Oh, Islam is saying this, be truthful in this path, but my society is saying completely against it. Maybe if I say this, maybe that happens, maybe this happens. And I start thinking about myself. Or even more than that, I start protecting my institutions, my spiritual, religious institutions. And I start neglecting certain orders and commands of Allah Azza wa Jal. And I start ignoring to talk about certain things because I want to protect what? My Islamic center. SubhanAllah. And the irony is here. The irony is that we have opened Islamic institution to do what? To propagate the Quran, to propagate the message of Quran and the Ahlul Bayt, to protect Islam. But when Islam needs me to protect it, instead of protecting Islam, I protect my own institution. This is the irony. That I'm completely going against my base and basic and foundational and fundamental vision. That at first I've started this institution to protect Islam and Muslims and the integrity and dignity of Muslims. But now when Islam needs me, I don't do help. Isn't it weird? Like how sometimes we come up with some intellectual argument that doesn't make sense. It appears to be very intellectual. It appears to be very wise. But in reality, it's not. You know, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam never negotiated when it comes to faith. They came to him, don't talk about this, don't talk about that. We'll give you. You can worship. We'll support you, right? And then he said, if you put the moon in my hand, in one hand, put sun in the other hand, meaning if you give me the whole world, not only the whole world, outer space, everything that it's in between, if you give me, I'm not gonna give up. This is the religion. So when the truth comes to me, right, and I'm convinced of that truth, I should not doubt. Now, next two ayah. ولا تكونن من الذين كذبوا بآيات الله فتكون من الخاسرين إن الذين حقت عليهم كلمة ربك لا يؤمنون.
And you should not be of those who reject the communications of Allah, for then you should be one of the losers. Surely those against whom the word of your Lord has proved true will not believe.
Surely what? Here's what we can do, right? Because I don't want to take too much time. Let's just skip the Arabic part and let's just focus on the English translation, right? And if I want to say something, I'll stop the brother, okay? So you just go till the end, brother.
Surely those against whom the word of your Lord has proved true will not believe, though every sign should come to them until they will witness the painful chastisement. And wherefore was there not a town which should believe, so that their belief should be profited them, but the people of Yunus? When they believed, we removed them the chastisement of disgrace in this world's life, and we gave them provision until a time. And if your Lord had pleased, surely all those who are in the earth would have believed, all of them.
Another challenge that we have when we follow the awliyaullah is that there is going to be people that they don't have the same faith that we have. And Quran is acknowledging here. When he talks about the people of Yunus, he said, yeah, there are people that they actually accepted Islam and they followed the wali of their time. And that's why we have given them a blessing and favors and so on. But know, O Musa, that if Allah wanted, if Allah wished, He could force everybody to have faith. But He didn't do it. As a result, you will see people that will come after you because of your faith. That's just the reality of being faithful. So there is no way for you to run away and escape from the confrontation by the disbelievers. There's no way for you. In Surah Baqarah, وَلَن تَرْضَ عَنْكَ الْيَهُودُ وَلَن نَصَارَى حَتَّى تَتَّبِعَ مِلَّتَهُمْ. Right? The disbelievers or non-believers, they're in this case Jews and Christians, Quran says. They're not going to be satisfied with you. It's not possible. If you want to satisfy them, it's not possible. There's only one way. حَتَّى تَتَّبِعَ مِلَّتَهُمْ. The only way that you can satisfy them is to follow them, to follow their religion. As long as you don't follow their religion, it's not possible for you to satisfy them. So don't even look that way. Know that in this faith, there is going to be a struggle. Right? Who is going to read? Zain? Ayah 100.
And it is not for a soul to believe except by the will of Allah, and He appoints uncleanness of infidelity on those who do not ponder.
Those who do not ponder. The hidayah is from Allah, and Allah gives hidayah to those people they think, they ponder. Yes.
Say, observe you what is in the heavens and the earth, but neither signs nor warnings avail a people who do not believe. Do they then expect anything but the like of the days of those who passed away before them? Say, wait you then, verily I also with you will be of those who wait. Then when our wrath fell, we delivered our messengers and those who believed. Thus it is binding in us that we delivered the believers.
Subhanallah. There is going to be challenges. There's going to be difficulties. But know that وَكَذَلِكَ حَقًّا عَلَيْنَا. Allah is saying that it's a right upon us, meaning we're going to do that. نُنْجِل الْمُؤْمِنِينَ. We'll save people, mu'mineen, believers. We will save you. Remember last night, in one of the traditions, the Imam was saying that the prosperity, safety, everything lies in the hand of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you look anywhere else for protection, for prosperity, for happiness, you're wretched and destitute. You're delusional. You think that's safety. That's not safety. It's a temporary thing that perhaps brings you some comfort for moments. It's not going to be everlasting salvation. Yes? قُلْ يَا أَيُّهَا النَّاسِ 104.
Say, O you people, if you are in doubt as to my religion, then know that I do not worship those whom you worship other than Allah. For I worship Allah who causes you to die, and I have been commanded that I should be of the believers. And And I have also been commanded that set your face towards the religion uprightly, and never be of the polytheists. And do not call other than Allah on that which will neither profit you nor hurt you. For if you do, then verily you will on that case be of the unjust.
A simplistic approach is that here the Prophet is telling them, do not call that idol. Right? That's a simplistic way of understanding this verse. But a deeper level of that is that do not call anything for help, anything. Not yourself, not someone else, nothing. If you want protection, if you want a benefit, call Allah. Because anything else that you call for, they neither benefit you nor harm you. This is a fact. Nobody can harm you. Nobody can benefit you if Allah doesn't want it. That's a fact. That's a fact. 107.
And if Allah afflicts you with any hurt, none can remove it but Him. And if He intends any good for you, none can repel His favor. He causes it to reach whomsoever of His servants He pleases, and He is the forgiving, the merciful. Say, O mankind, now the truth has come to you from your Lord. Therefore, whoever is guided, he is guided for the good of his own self, and whoever strays, he strays only against it. And I am not a warden over you. And only follow at what is revealed unto you, and be patient till Allah judges, and He is the best of the judges.
So now, here's the message of the Prophet. The context, Allah is talking about the previous Prophet, prior to our Prophet. But it's actually the same message. This is a message from our Prophet. This is a message of Ahlul Bayt, alayhimus salam. One of the reasons that I picked all these verses, I hope you're not tired, is because sometimes when we talk about certain things, some people, they may think, oh, this guy, Jawad, is just picking one verse of the Quran and then forgetting the context of it. So he's going to go a little bit extreme because he's neglecting the previous ayah and after ayah. So I picked like a good number of the verses of the Quran that we just cover, automatically answer and respond to that question and that shubha. Pay attention to the last 3 verses of Surah Yunus. So what Quran essentially is saying, that if something is gonna benefit you, you will get the benefit. Something is gonna harm you, you will get harm. You will face that. Nothing is going to change that. It is only in the hand of Allah Azza wa Jalla. And then He says, وَاتَّبِعْ مَا يُوحَى. Follow what I have revealed to you. Follow the revelation. وَاصْبِرْ. And be patient. It takes patience. It takes patience. A lot of patience. وَاصْبِرْ. حَتَّى يَحْكُمَ اللَّهُ. And wait for the hukm and the command of Allah. Till then, be patient. And being patient doesn't mean, obviously, passively waiting for something. Being patient means proactively following wahy in this context, proactively following the revelation of Allah as it is revealed exactly till the hukm of Allah comes. Meaning proactively going out and following it. Here's the problem. Do you think Muslims, we're talking about Islam now and Muslims, talking ourselves. Do you think Muslims historically, they had the same understanding? Majority. Let me tell you this story. There's a story on the day of Ashura, Shahadat, Imam al-Hussein alayhi salatu wassalam recited. He went to the tent, or I should say, he had a meeting, private meeting, with Umar ibn Sa'ad. Obviously, he was leading the army of Yazid, appointed by Ibn Ziyad. So it's been said that Umar ibn Sa'ad was grow up with Imam Hussein alayhi salatu wassalam. So they knew each other. So Imam Hussein told him that, what is it that you're here? Let me help you. So you see the kindness of Sayyid al-Shuhada. He's against him. He blocked the water to his family members. He's attempted to kill and massacre Imam al-Hussein and his family members and his companions, yet Imam al-Hussein ﷺ is looking ways to save him. Know that if he would seek forgiveness, Imam Hussein would intercede at this point. So he asked him, what is it that you're here, you're against us? He said, if I leave now, they're going to kill my family members. Imam Hussein said, I will guarantee. I'll protect your family. What else? What else you got? He said, if I leave this, they're going to take all my wealth. He said, I will give you more than that. I'll give you more than that. What is it? He said a few other things, and at the end he said, they have promised me Ray. We all heard about this, right? He had promised me Ray. Imam Hussein told him that you're not going to get what you're looking for. In a way, it's not your rizq. It's not your sustenance to get there. Don't fight it. Don't go against the will of Allah to achieve something. You're not going to get it. You're not going to get it if it's not in your sustenance. He massacred, he killed, he committed that heinous act, that tragedy. Time passed. He went to Ibn Ziyad. He told him that, Ibn Ziyad, you told me that you go and kill the grandson of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and do that act. I've done it. Now give me, right? Give me the hukm. Give me that appointment letter. He said, what are you talking about? He said, Baba, you told me, you promised me, Ray. He said, do you have any proof for that? He said, yes, I have. I have a letter you have sent me. He said, bring me that letter. So Umar ibn Sa'ad took that letter, went back to Ibn Ziyad. He took that, he gave to Ibn Ziyad that letter. Ibn Ziyad just tear that letter in front of him. So he doesn't have any proof. There is a obviously record that indicate he was killed by Mukhtar. There's another report that indicates that Ibn Ziyad killed him at night. And this behavior, you have this intense, obviously, example. Intense example. But in our lives, we do this sometime. Inshallah less. That we prioritize other things over religion. We prioritize religion or other things over religion. When it comes to those tough decisions, we neglect. And if we're aware, right, for the most part, we're not even aware with what we're doing. But even if we are aware, we start thinking, we start rationalizing and trying to find an easy route. This practice itself is the reason, one of the reasons that awliyaullah and friends of Allah usually are abandoned. That the priority of nation is something, and then the priority of the leaders, which are the awliyaullah, are completely the opposite. Their priority are not the same. So much, this gap becomes so wild and wide that sometimes there are points in history that the Prophet would talk to his own nation, but his own nation couldn't understand what the Prophet is saying even. Give you one example in the story of Surah Al-Fatih, right? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam had a dream that لَقَدْ صَدَقَ اللَّهُ رَسُولَهُ الرُّؤْيَا بِالْحَقِّ. Go in Masjid al-Haram, take these people. So the Prophet promised them, let's go Hajj. All Muslims are saying, what are you talking about? Hajj? Mecca is in the hand of mushrikeen, how is it possible? He said, no, we're going to go Hajj. They went outside of the city of Mecca, mushrikeen didn't let them in. They didn't do Hajj that year. That year, they did not do Hajj. That was a promise. The verse of the Quran, he says, Inna fatahna laka fatham mubina. Indeed, this is a victory, a clear victory. One of the companions, I'm not going to mention his name, one of the companions, he yelled at the Prophet. He said, what are you talking about? Fath? Victory? What is this? Is this even a victory? The way the Prophet is looking at things, these guys, they don't understand it. And you and I are sometimes questioning what they did to Zahra sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Because even during the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, amongst the companions, there were people that their priorities were not as the priority of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and they did not try or attempt to align their priority with his priority. They had their own agendas. Let's read the khutbah of Imam Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam in Ashura. Recite the salawat, please. The message of Imam Hussein alayhi salam is very simple, isn't it? They had the same language, they knew Arabic, and Imam was talking and speaking in Arabic. What is his message? What is his core message? Here's one of his last sermon. He said, أيها الناس اسمعوا قولي ولا تعجلوا حتى أعظكم بما يحق لكم علي وحتى أعذر إليكم فإن أعطيتموني أن النصف كنتم بذلك أسعد وإن لم تعطوني أن النصف من أنفسكم فأجمعوا رأيكم ثم لا يكن أمركم عليكم غمة ثم اقضوا إلي ولا تنظرون إن ولي الله الذي نزل الكتاب وهو يتولى الصالحين. Oh people, listen to what I'm going to say. I'm just going to summarize it. That I'm going to be very clear with you all that if you're fair, you would accept what I'm going to say to you. All it takes is what? Fairness. The message is not a complicated message. After the hamd and the praise of Allah Azza wa Jal, He's telling them that, look, you know what is my background. You know my grandfather. This is His message. It's simple. You know my grandfather, you know my mother, you know my father, you know my position, my status in the eye of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Is it right to kill me? That's his message. on that day, all he's saying that just think about this. Is it fair to kill me? Knowing that in the east and in the west, there's nobody as close as me to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That's his message on the day of Ashura. And then he started calling out certain people that you've sent me your letter, that you come. And then one of them said to Imam al-Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam that we don't understand what you're saying. Go and talk to your cousin Yazid. Resolve this issue with Yazid. There are multiple points on the day of Ashura when Imam al-Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam is conveying this very basic, simple message that such person like me cannot pledge allegiance to an individual like Yazid. And they knew Yazid, and they knew Imam al-Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam. Very simple, very simple. They will tell Imam al-Hussein, oh Hussein, we don't understand you. And subhanAllah, almost the same thing they would tell to the Anbiya and Prophets. You don't make sense to us. So what is the message of Anbiya? In his nation, there's a corruption. Let's say they excessively spending their wealth. They do israf. So the message of Prophet is that don't do israf. For our Prophet, besides the Tawheed, right, is that slavery and oppression is not good. Don't do this. Do not bury your daughters. And these are very basic, simple message. We don't understand you. They sometimes really couldn't understand, some of them. Not the elite. The elite were actually deceiving people. But the mass, they really had questions. They really had questions. So number one issue was the priority. Here's the second and my last issue, right? Is that the reason that they cannot understand this basic and easy to understand message is that slowly the nation distanced themselves from the values and levels of their prophets and the wali of their time. Let me give you one example. Imagine there's a guy, right? All he thinks is to collect money. He doesn't care about anything, right? He cheats, he deceives. All he wants is making more money. That's all he wants. And we have a lot, especially in New York, right? All he wants is making money. He doesn't care if he oppress people, the poor people are dying. He doesn't care. Companies that they build weapon, make a lot of money. Oh, let me invest. Oh, this war is happening. Let me invest more on this sector because now it's hot, the market is hot. Let me do this. They don't care. They don't care. They didn't care about children of Gaza. Oh. They couldn't care less, honestly. They care about their dogs and cats more than people. They don't care, like truly. I'm just going to repeat it again. And now I give you a task. I say, Muhammad, Bismillah, go to that individual, talk about the value of charity. What Quran is saying, that وَأَقْرَضُ اللَّهَ قَرْضًا حَسَنًا. Or the way Quran is approaching, infaq. That's the Arab pre-Islam. Arab pre-Islam is drowned in wealth and the luxury of this world, so much so that they utilize slavery to make more money. Now Quran is saying that, look, from the money that I have given you, give to the poor. What? You gave me money? If you go to this individual who thinks only about collecting wealth, talk about charity the way religion is saying, no, not the way we approach in today's world, in the US, that you file in IRS and you get something back and so on. Not like that. The money, the wealth that you have is not yours, and now you have to give. Do you think he will understand you? He's going to mock you. What are you talking about? Are you crazy? And the real example is Qarun. Qarun is somebody who was amongst the people of Musa alayhi salam. According to Quran, he's from his nation. And he supposedly believed in the religion of Musa alayhi salam. And he collected wealth. He made money. He became rich, so much so that Quran is saying that people, when they would see him, he's like passing by with all the like beautiful luxury jewelries, whatever, like supercars at that time, right? Like nice camels and so on. In today's like language, maybe Ferraris and Bugattis and these supercars. He's driving, everybody's looking, wow, I wish I was like Qarun. I wish I was like, the Tesla guy. I wish I was like Qarun. Like that wishful thinking. People, he would do tabarruj, he would show off to people. So he made money, he became rich. And now Musa alayhi salam is going to him, Qarun, yes sir. He said, I want you to give your zakat, your share. Now it's time for your zakat. You're a believer, right? You know what he said? Why should I give? It doesn't make sense to me. Prior to him becoming rich, it made sense to him to pay zakat. Yeah, he was a receiver, ahsan. Or maybe it was a little money, it was not like a big number. Now the number is getting big. You know what he said? He said, "O Musa, what I have achieved and gained was because of my own knowledge. I've collected this wealth because of my own understanding of the complexity of business and market. That's why I became rich." The priority, the understanding of this Qarun has shifted so much so that the verses of the Quran that we just recited, that if a benefit is supposed to and is in your fate, taqdeer, it's going to come. If it's not going to come. That means is that whatever comes to you is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So don't you think that you can gain something without being in your fate and your taqdeer? Work hard. Work hard. Don't stop. But know that at the end of the day, everything is in the hand of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And wish for the best and pray for the best. رَبَّنَا آتِنَا فِي الدُّنْيَا what? حَسَنَةً وَفِي الْآخِرَةِ the best of this dunya, the best of the next world. The same thing we have when it comes to Imam al-Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam. Multiple occasions, multiple incidents, they would come to the Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam, Imam, I know you're right. I know you're right. But I have that business, I have this business, I have that car company, that garage, like camels, horses. Let me go there. And they would go to his city, come back, everything is done. His priority has changed. He thinks he's protecting his wealth. He thinks he's in charge. While the Quran is saying, you're not in charge. If something is going to kill you, it's going to kill you. Munafiqeen, they would put fear in the hearts of Muslims that look, when you send your kids and your children and you yourself, when you go to battlefield, you're going to get killed. And then Quran comes, Surah Al-Imran, same ayats as وَلَا تَحْسَبَنَّ الَّذِينَ قُتِلُوا, in the same context. Allah comes and say that, look, do you think if you stay in your city, you're not going to die? You really think that? You really think that you're in control of your death? You wanna protect yourself? You? Who are you? This is the message of Quran. So if a nation is not getting this, right, is not living a life this way, of course when Imam al-As comes, he comes and show me this is the path toward victory. If I'm not practicing what Quran is saying, if I don't have the same understanding of my Imam, I cannot understand it. That's it. I cannot understand it. And it's not a joke, brothers and sisters. It's not we were blaming people of time of Imam Hussein and other Imams and other prophets, but this is going to happen to us. Maybe it's happening already, we don't know. Because according to tradition, that Al-Imam Al-Wahid Kattarid, this last Imam is an alone, abandoned Imam. Wahid means alone. At-Tarid means somebody who is abandoned. Nobody cares about him. Imam has awtad, meaning friends that Imam gives him direction, task, go do this for me, go do that for me. And potentially all Shias are supposed to be those people. Potentially. But why we're not, that's a problem. We're going to talk, inshallah, tomorrow night about this and bring some beautiful stories from the life of the Imams and his companion, alayhim salam. We pray to Allah Azza wa Jalla to grant us, inshallah, the wisdom and understanding that we can recognize and realize the message of Quran. And we pray to Allah Azza wa Jalla to grant us tawfiq, an opportunity to follow and act upon the noble Quran and the Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam. We pray to Allah Azza wa Jalla to hasten the reappearance of Imam al-As alayhi salatu wassalam, grant victory to our brothers and sisters in Gaza, Palestine, in Syria and Lebanon and elsewhere. Please remember the oppressed people of Syria, in Lebanon, in Palestine, as inshallah we shed tears or we listen to masa'ib of our Sayyidatuna Zahra salamullah alayha. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم السلام عليك يا بنت رسول الله السلام عليك يا قرة عين الرسول السلام عليك يا فاطمة الزهراء اللهم صل على فاطمة وأبيها وبعلها وبنيها والسر المستودع فيها بعدد ما أحاط به علمه. When our mother passed away, when she was martyred, few women, they went to take the news and inform Amirul Mu'mineen. Perhaps at this point She was feeling bad, she was feeling ill, so much so that some thought that Zahra is toward the end of her life. They went to Amirul Mu'mineen, told Amirul Mu'mineen rushed toward the house. He reached the house, he sat beside Zahra. Imagine here's Ali sitting right beside the love of his life, Zahra, holding her hand, calling, "O Fatima, daughter of Rasulullah." The narration said that she didn't speak, her eyes were closed. Amirul Mu'mineen tried to call her in different ways. She didn't respond, she didn't speak, her eyes were closed. And then Amirul Mu'mineen said, "O Fatima, I'm your Ali ibn Ammik. I'm your Ali, your cousin. Talk to me, O Zahra." At this point, Zahra opened her eyes and told Ali, "O Ali, it seems that I'm about to meet my father Rasulullah." It said that both they started crying out loud. When they stopped, she said, "O Ali, kaffini bil-layl, حنطني بالليل غسني بالليل. O Ali, wash me and do my ghusl at night. Perform my funeral at night. O Zahra, we all know toward the end of your life, you brush Hassan's hair and Zainab's hair with a broken arm and hand. But there is another broken hand on the day of Ashura. When Abbas was coming back from the Furat with water for the children of Abu Abdullah, they broke and cut both hands of Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas. At this point, it's been said that Abbas, holding the water container with his teeth, at some point they said, فَوَقَفَ الْعَبَّاسِ مُتَحَيِّرًا. Abbas all of a sudden stopped, at shocked, at awe. He doesn't know to go toward the tent and face the children of Abu Abdullah who are thirsty, or go back to Furat to bring water again, because an arrow was head to the water container. As Abbas is stopped here, an enemy from his behind with a pole strike that of Abbas. Abbas is on the ground. He called, "Oh brother Hussein, come to me." Abu Abdullah reached the body of Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas. As soon as he saw Abu al-Fadl doesn't have hands, Abu al-Fadl's eyes and bodies is filled with arrows and wounds. He said, Al-an inkasara dhahri. Now my back is broken. In one tradition it said that Imam al-Hussein intended to take the body of Abu al-Faz. As soon as he intended to lift the body of Abu al-Faz, Abbas told Imam, what do you do, Imam? In a way I cannot go back. Don't take my body to the tent. The children and the women of Abu Abdullah and the Ahlul Bayt are waiting for Abu Abdullah and Abu al-Faz. All of a sudden, after some time, they saw Imam al-Hussein is walking toward the tent alone without Abbas. Mahzun and Bakiya, he's coming toward the tent while he is in the state of grief. He is in state of sadness and crying. ألا لعنة الله على القوم الظالمين وسيعلم الذين ظلموا أي منقلب ينقلبون. Ya Hussein,